Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela and today we're going to be talking all about the Forbes 2023 Creators List, how you are going to be next on this list because we're manifesting this for everybody, success tips and content, literally just your ultimate guide on how we're going to get you on this list. I've never been on it, but you know what? We're going to go on a journey throughout this video because I have been so inspired after the 2023 Creators List came out. So let's just get started. As you guys know, the Forbes 2023 Creators List just came out this week, and content creators such as Monet McMichael and Alex Earl were on this list. And Monet McMichael actually makes an income of $4 million according to Forbes, and Alex Earl had an income of $5 million from Forbes, which this is just crazy to think about because content creation really is that, girl. Like, you are really able to change your entire life overnight. It doesn't matter who you are. And we see this with so many content creators, like for example, Monet and Alex. And I feel like this can just serve as such a great influence and example that anyone can do whatever they want. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, like literally whatever it is, you have the opportunity to do it because we are so lucky to live in a day and in this day and age where you really could make money just from sitting in your living room like this and talking to the camera or having your phone out and just filming a TikTok. Like, anything is possible. And with this list, I've been thinking about it all week because I feel like it serves as just such great inspiration. It doesn't matter how old you are. And so I want to break this video down into 3 parts. I have my computer right in front of me because I have a bunch of notes that I wrote down that I do not want to forget about, but we're going to be breaking down this video into 3 different parts. So the first part of this video is going to be, what is Forbes, what kind of lists are they, and why is this so important? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know that Forbes is actually a magazine and like a media company. It's not just a bunch of lists that come out every year that makes people realize like who is rich and who is not. The second part of this video is going to be how you are next on Forbes, plus the steps and the routine that you're going to take to get on this level. And the last part of this video is going to be things to remember and putting all of this stuff together, because when you're given all this information, I feel like it can be really hard to figure out how to put it into your own life. So grab a notebook, grab a pen, and let's get started into how you're going to change your life. First up, what is Forbes and what is everything to know about it? So Forbes itself is a global media company and it was founded in 1917, and there are journalists who write for specifically Forbes articles that you can read every day. There's a lot of people that are called Forbes contributors. Anyone can be a Forbes contributor. And then there's also the reporters and the journalists that specifically cover the really important editorials and articles such as Forbes 30 Under 30. Forbes has a collection of all these lists that come out every single year, and there's a bunch of different categories, so really anyone can fit into this. You don't feel like you need to just be like an entrepreneur, or you don't just need to be someone making the next Tesla or the next Instagram, because anybody really can be on this list. So some of the lists that they actually have are Forbes 30 Under 30, like I just mentioned, the World's Billionaires list, the 100 Most Powerful Women, 100 Venture Capitalists, Forbes 400, which is the wealthiest in America, the richest people in cryptocurrency, the 50 over 50 list, and then in the 30 under 30 list, in that entire category, there's a bunch of subcategories which actually include art and style, Hollywood and entertainment, healthcare, retail and e-commerce, consumer technology, sports, marketing and advertising, science, media, music, and more. So there are so many different lists and things that anyone can be a part of, which I think is really cool because it really gives everyone a chance to shine in their own little way. There really is a possibility that you can be on this list, and I'm not even saying, again, like you have to be a really big entrepreneur, but the amount of money that these people are making, like it really is possible for anyone to just step into this, because all you have to do is figure out the idea, work towards it, you know, make sure that you're networking, and we're going to talk about more later in the video. When you combine the net worth of all of these people, it comes to over $12 trillion, which I think is insane. But again, it just goes to show the amount of money that there is in this world and that people are willing to spend on certain things. So why is Forbes so important? Why do people make it seem to be so important than it actually is? So this is an annual list that is compiled every year of young people changing the world, and you don't have to be building the next Instagram or Spotify or Uber, like I said, but you just have to be someone that is making a difference. And the way that this is done is you can either nominate yourself or you can be nominated to be in any of these lists. All of the candidates that submit themselves or have someone submit them into this list are all reviewed by the staff on Forbes, and they're there are multiple judges within this panel, and they look at a bunch of different criteria to figure out, who has the potential to be on this list. And again, it doesn't have to be solely on these things, but some of the things that they look at include revenue, social impact, your scale, potential, and more. So these are just some of the things that the staff and the editors and the panel look at to decide, is this person worth being on this list, depending on that. But again, it's not subject to just those things. As for how to actually be on this list with your age, you have to be 29 years old or younger as of December 31st, 2023, or whatever year it is. So let's just say you're applying for next year. You have to be under 29 years old as of, 2024. December 31st is the exact date though. Usually the lists are announced in the fall time. So last year, the 2022 list for 2023 came out in November. There's actually a YouTube video on the Forbes YouTube channel where two editors, which are two people that are actually part of the reviewing process of the candidates, mentioned that something that can give you a leg up if you want to be on this list is that you have an alum or someone previously that has been on the Forbes list nominate you. And I'm going to talk about this later in the video as well, where two people who actually made YouTube videos that I found online mentioned that they were picked because they had someone that actually had nominated them. So that is another great way to be on this list. Obviously, you don't have to be nominated, but that is just something that can definitely help you get a leg up. And the reason why so many people want to be on this list, or why is it so important, why do people give so much recognition to this, and it's honestly a really awesome award that makes you recognizable in so many different ways. Like, just being able to be on that list, I feel like opens up so many other doors for you. Obviously, you don't need to be on this list to be super important, but all of the people who've been on this list, they've said that they don't really feel anything different. It's just something that they've been recognized for. But when you are recognized on this, obviously you get access to really cool opportunities afterwards, and you get invited to the Forbes parties and the awards, all of that stuff. Now we're gonna get into part 2 of this video, which is what are the next steps to get on Forbes and what are you gonna take to get to this next level? I just wanna say, I've never been on this list, but it is definitely one of my goals of mine, which is also why I'm making this video, because if it does happen in the future, I wanna have this video to look back on and be like, wow, like little did I know that that was gonna happen to me. But it is something that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a content creator, literally as just a woman that does everything, I really do look up to this list, and it's something that I would love to be nominated for or be on one day, because it really is just so amazing. Or even in Entrepreneur magazine, like these are things that I really love and that I look up to. But let's talk about how you're actually going to achieve this. And these are actually some of the steps that I am taking to get myself onto here, because I feel like it's so important after gathering all this research and hearing what other people have been saying online about being on this, that I feel like I should share with you guys, because we are all in this together. We are all here to succeed and get to the next level. So let's get into this. The first thing to remember is focus on your own journey and figure out what you're gonna do to try to be on this. So as I mentioned before, there are so many different categories that you can be a part of when it comes to this list. So there really is room for everybody. So go through these lists, go through the people, read their stories, do a little bit of research on them, and see where you think you might fit in. The categories that I feel like really stand out to me are specifically the media and the marketing and advertising section, because I would love to be a content creator making a lot of money, but my end goal is not to be a full-time content creator. I want to be an entrepreneur and a business owner, and I want to have my own company. I would not be a content creator full-time just because it's not something that I've always looked up to. Like, I've always looked up to being a female CEO and being just a woman that is in charge in the business world. That's one of my personal goals. Those are the two things that stand out to me. But again, look through this list and see where you believe that you might fit in. Next is figure out the goals that you want to accomplish when it comes to getting on this specific category and work backwards from it. So I'll give you guys an example. I'm currently reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it's an amazing book on habits and creating systems and not focusing on your goals, but actually focusing on the systems, aka the routines that can get you to where you need to be. So for example, if you want to lose 50 pounds, you shouldn't tell yourself every day, I need to lose 50 pounds, I need to lose 50 pounds. You would tell yourself, like, what what does someone who wants to be healthier, what would they do? So before you go and pick up an ice cream bar, or before you go and spend $15 at Wendy's, ask yourself, like, what would someone who wants to be healthy do? And that's a better way to look at it, because the more you tell yourself this and the more you're in those situations where you're like, oh, should I buy this? Should I eat the fast food? You'll be like, wait, what would this person do? And instead of focusing and obsessing over that, I need to lose 50 pounds, I need to lose 50 pounds, you're focusing on the systems to get there, which is, what would a person that is healthy do? What would a person who wants to lose weight do? That's just one example that actually James Clear mentioned in the book. And that is something that I've been applying to my own personal life, because I want to be a business owner. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a female CEO that is making, you know, a really good amount of money. And I ask myself every day when I don't want to wake up in the morning, when I don't want to work out, when I don't want to do work in general, I'm like, what would the future me do? What would the entrepreneur in me do? Like, what would the female CEO in me do? And I ask myself this because I feel like that's really helpful to decide like the person that you're going to be. And the more that you ask yourself that, the more you work towards that. Don't obsess over them, but figure out what it is that you want to do and then work backwards from that. You know, do research. So for example, I want to be an entrepreneur. So what I'm doing is I'm reading books about how to build better habits, because entrepreneurs and successful people have really good habits and systems. I'm reading articles online on successful people. I'm watching videos on how these people are getting to where they want it to be. And I'm trying to figure out in my own way and in my own life, how can I take those steps in my own way to get to where I want to be. Next is, don't distract yourself and really hone in and focus on these goals. So what I mean is, if you want to do something, like I said, in media or in music or entertainment, whatever it is, after you've figured out the category you want to be in and the world and the industry that you want to work towards, figure out what weekly goals can you set for yourself to get to where you want to be. So I'll give you guys an example again of myself. I really want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have a media company that is very well known. And so I think every day, you know, what should I do to get to a weekly goal? So for example, I'm currently building my newsletter. So one of my weekly goals is to make sure I am sending out a newsletter Monday through Friday before 8 a.m. That's my weekly goal right now. Then the following weekly goal could be, okay, let me try to increase my subscribers by 100. The following goal for the next week could be, what can I do to improve my content? Should I send out a survey or something to try to figure out like what are people interested in reading? So those are small goals that are manageable, and they're helping me work towards, you know, a one-day successful newsletter. Or for example, if I want to be a well-known content creator, I would tell myself, okay, today I have to post 2 or 3 TikTok videos. Tomorrow I'm going to reply just to comments. The day after that, I'm going to repost the videos onto Reels. Like every day I'm setting these little goals that are helping me towards the big goal in the end, which is, you know, the media company or the being a content creator. So really hone in on what it is that you want to do and customize these goals to what it is. And the reason why I say don't get distracted is because I have had so many friendships where they're just people that have goals and just don't want to work towards them, or they're people that dream really big and then never do anything. And I am someone who I dream very big. I don't dream small. Like, I really believe that these amazing and crazy things that I've always wanted since I was a kid, they're gonna happen to me. And I've been able to actually accomplish some of my insane goals that I never thought could ever happen, such as getting invited to events, getting recognized by brands, being reposted by brands I've loved growing up, getting PR packages from brands that I loved watching when I was like 12, 11 years old. So these are things that I never thought would happen, but one day I just told myself, girl, like, get up, start posting the content. Who cares what people are going to say? And get rid of the people that are just going to be negative. There's always going to be someone that says something about you, but if they're one of your friends, you honestly just have to remember that that is not a friend. You have to drop them. I've had friends before, like I said in the past, that were saying stuff behind my back, that were like, oh, you know, she thinks that she's all that, and who cares? You just let them talk and you keep doing what you have to do. If you don't want to be on social media as much and you just want to post content and then ghost and not really check on what anyone else is doing, do that. I've done that before, where I literally will just post content and then I'll leave social media, because sometimes I don't want to be on there. I want to just focus on what I have to do. And if that even means deleting social media in general and just focusing on your goals, or going out and networking and going to events alone, do that. Something else that has also been very helpful for me that I remind myself is I tell myself, I'm not gonna try, I'm gonna just do. Because so many people are always like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do this, I'm gonna try to make money, I'm gonna try to start a business, I'm gonna try to be a content creator. It's like, no, cut the try, just say do. I am going to make 6 figures. I am going to be a content creator. I am going to be a business owner, and just work towards that. Because when you say try, I feel like that just tells your brain like, oh, I'm just gonna try to do this, but I'm not gonna give it my full potential. But if you actually do, then you're telling your brain, okay, like we are going to do this. We are going to get to where it is that we want to be. And then I feel like that kind of gives you that emphasis to work harder and actually do the goals, because writing something down versus actually doing it is so different. So instead of visualizing, instead of dreaming, instead of saying I wish and I'm going to try, actually just do it. Sit down with yourself, either at your computer, sit down with yourself in front of the phone and the tripod and actually film it and upload it and do it. Next is do the research and find articles or YouTube videos or podcasts online that can help you get to where you want to be. So there's actually a few YouTube videos that I have watched of 2 people that were able to make it on Forbes 30 under 30. There's not that much content out there of people who have been on it that are on YouTube, but 2 really great videos that I found were, one was from this YouTube channel and it is called The Table with AO. I've never watched him before, but I just found this video. And the second video was from this girl named Chloe She. The first video that I watched, which was The Table with AO, he was interviewing this girl. Her name was Daniela, I believe. I think her name was Daniela. And she had said that she was at this Forbes event. I believe it was a Forbes event, or she was at some sort of event where this guy was like, yeah, I was on Forbes 30 under 30. And one of the things that he said was, ask someone who is successful, you know, how can I be of service to you? How can I help you? What can I do to kind of like freelance and help you with your goals or tasks or whatever it is? And so after the event, she went out to the guy and she was like, what can I do to be of service to you? What can I do to get you to your goals and what it is that you want to do? And in the meantime, while she was helping him, he was also, you know, building himself up and getting to where he needed to be. So after a few months, or I think like a year of her helping him, he was like, I'm going to nominate you for Forbes 30 under 30. And she was like, okay. You know, she never asked him, she never told him she wanted to be on it, but in her heart, she always did. That was why she went up to him after the event and was like, can I help you? Can I be of service to you? So while she was filling out the form, after he told her that he was going to nominate her and she was going to nominate herself, it said in there, one of the questions was, are you making over $2 million in revenue? And she obviously was a small business owner, so she was like, no, she's not making $2 million, unfortunately. And so she never filled out the form. She left it, she closed it, and she was like, well, I'm never going to make this. A few weeks later, the actual list comes out and someone texts her and goes, oh, congratulations, I saw you on the list. And she was like, what? She went on it. She literally was at the car dealership, or she was getting gas or something. And she literally like ran out of her car, ran around the block. She called her mom. She was like, I made the list. Oh my God, like I can't believe this. And it was because that person who was an alum had nominated her, and that kind of gave her that leg up. She never filled out the form because she literally was like, I don't make $2 million in revenue. The fact that someone had nominated her and she was making a difference in her community and she was doing work and still building up her side business at the same time was the thing that happened. She didn't make the list all because someone nominated her. Like, she had a business and she was still working on it and she still had goals, and that was how she was able to work her way up to that. And the other YouTuber that I watched, her name's Chloe She made a whole video on how she was nominated, how she got rejected the first time. And I personally really recommend watching this as well because it's very inspiring, because she got rejected the first time. You know, she didn't make it and she was like, F this, like I don't care. But then the following year she was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And what happened is she was working at this company, and companies can actually nominate employees to be part of this list. And so she went to her manager and she was like, can you nominate me, you know, as part of the company for this list? And at first he was like, yeah. And then after she had went home and told her roommate, you know, she talked to her manager, whatever, her roommate was like, you're never gonna make that list. Like, do you understand how hard it is and how difficult it is? Like, you have to be really smart and you have to be like really rich or whatever it was. And she took that and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it now just because you said like I'm not going to. And she ended up leaving the previous job, I think because the manager like ghosted her and was like, yeah, like he's not gonna write her a recommendation or whatever or nominate her. And so then she started working at Discord, and she was working there. I think she still works there to this day. And she was talking to her manager or someone that she was close with at that company who was nominated, and she told him, you know, you should apply for Forbes 30 under 30 because I'm going to. And he was like, I've already been on the list. And she was like, what? Like, I completely forgot. She forgot that he had been on it. He was like, you know what, I'll nominate you though because I've already been on it and I feel like you deserve to be on it. And she was like, oh my God, okay. So she filled out her own nomination. She did the personal essay. She had like 3 or 4 people, I think, review the personal essay for her. She literally just sent it out, and you don't know you make it onto the list until literally the day of. So when the day of the list came out, she had woken up, someone had texted her like, congratulations. She saw it, she was like, what the heck, like I can't believe I made it, and that was it. So it's a process that I feel like it's really nerve-wracking, but once you make it and you're on it, you're like, wow, like I did that. So if you guys want to watch those YouTube videos, I definitely recommend just watching them and seeing, you know, a little bit more advice on how these people were able to do it, because I feel like it's very, very inspiring. We are now in the third part of the video, which is the last part, and that is things to remember and putting all of this together. So first tip is read up on what is going on locally and in your community or where you live. I feel like this is so important because, again, it's not really focused on how much money you're making. Obviously that is one of the categories and one of the things that's looked at, but you have to be making a difference in your community. You have to actually be someone who's out there, and you're not just sitting on your couch all day, or you're not just sitting in your house all day and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make the list, I'm gonna manifest this, I'm gonna write it down, and I want this to happen. Like, no, you're actually going out and you're doing something. And for me, I am all about marketing myself and getting people to know who I am. I am always emailing and messaging people on LinkedIn and figuring out, you know, how can I get my name out there? How can I get people to know me where they see my name and they're like, oh yeah, that's the girl that did this. And so what I've been doing recently is around my school, I have been posting little posters around. I had my sister print them out at her school, and I posted little things around my school about my newsletter to get people to go and visit my website. And I actually have been getting signups because of that. Something else I've been doing is I've been messaging people on LinkedIn if they want to be featured on my newsletter, so that that can get more word around as well, and they can eventually, you know, see the content that I'm doing through there. And I'm just going to keep working towards getting people to know me and who I am. And that also includes local events. Like, I signed up for a virtual event that I can listen into. Invest in yourself, find things around where you live that you can go to and talk to people, because that's a whole nother thing. You can't just be at home every day and expect people to nominate you, or just expect yourself to make it to the list one day. The fact that you are doing things, you know, in the meantime to get your way up there and making your name known is already amazing in itself. That is one of the first things to remember. The second thing that you can do is, like I said, find an alum or someone who has previously been on the list. Learn from them. You know, ask someone, hey, you know, I want to be nominated in the future for the entertainment category. Can you hop on a call for 30 minutes and just tell me, you know, what did you do to get yourself up there? And that's something that I'm actually planning on doing. I'm going to be reaching out to some of the people that are in the categories I want to be in. It's really important to remember that even though you're going to be getting this advice from people, or even though you're going to be reading up on it online, there is no one secret and there is no one thing that is going to get people to that list or to get yourself really successful. At the end, all about yourself, and you really need to be willing to sit down, do the work, go out there, promote yourself, send out emails, send out messages, put posters around, and just get people to really know who you are. The last two things that I would say is, don't compare yourself and your journey to people online. That's why I really recommend not being on social media as much if you are trying to get to a specific goal. Something that I do, like I said before, is the post and go. So, like, I'll post content online and then I just leave. I don't really check anything else after. I don't go through videos. I just post. I get my content out there. I reply to my comments, reply to what people are saying, DMs and all of that, and then I just leave the app. I don't go through anyone else's posts. I don't go through stories. I don't really like to waste time. I like to make sure that I am getting myself out there and I'm doing the work. Obviously, I like to have fun. Like, I do my little fun things on social media. Sometimes it can be so easy to go through someone's story, see what they're doing, and think, dang, like, I wish I was doing that, or I wish that I was on their level. And that's already where the negativity starts. So you need to get off of that. And then the last tip, keep working hard. Don't obsess over your goal, and learn to make a difference. Because at the end of the day, it's about being different. It's about being unique. And again, you don't have to be someone building the next Instagram or the next Tesla, but you should be making a difference in whatever community it is that you want to be in, whether it's one person saying thank you or a million people saying thank you. If you are able to just change one person's life, or you're able to just bring value to anybody in general, I feel like that's already amazing in itself. Like, I get so many amazing DMs and comments and just people that have told me my content has helped them so much, and that is what keeps me going. That is why I started my agency, Valdez Agency, to bring awareness to people that are of all diverse backgrounds, to get them opportunities with brands. That is why I post these tips on TikTok, to get people to want to get into content creation, to put themselves out there, to work with their dream brands and learn, you know, how do I write an email? How do I make a proper LinkedIn profile? That's why I have a newsletter, to send out daily internships and job opportunities that you can apply to. That's why I have my blog and my YouTube channel, is to make content about the things that I love, because I want to put value out there. That is all for today's video. I am very thankful if you stayed all the way until the end, and leave leave a comment if you are at this part of the video, what it is that you want to be known for. Like, what if you want to be on Forbes 30 Under 30, or if you just want to be known for something and recognized for something, leave it in the comments and let's all support each other. Let's all get ourselves to where we want to be. Let's leave a little bit of love in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's see if in a year from now I am on this list and you're on this list and we are all being successful together. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.